Thank you. Good morning, good afternoon, depending upon where you are. I'm Adam Southam. I am the founder of the GoNo Food Finder. And it does what we say. And let's just start with the story. So we're going to start with my story. I have hyperlipidemia, a component of cholesterol, the part that builds the plaque. And my numbers are 1800, were 1803, which is a deadly number. The maximum is 150. So I had gone to the doctor, and the doctor said, "Yeah, you're going to die." Not very good bedside manner. I need to get you a cardiologist. He was wise enough not to treat me. So I go to the cardiologist. She says, "You're going to die." It was a bad day. And she said, "So here's what you're going to do. You're going to read a book." And I was a little shocked. I was expecting some Lipitor or something like that. But she said, "No, read the book, do what it says. I'll see you in 90 days." By changing my diet, I was able to go from 1803 down to 410. And then she prescribed me salmon, and salmon with a bunch of fish oil in a pill form. So I managed to get my tries down to about 200, and I could actually treat what is a deadly disease, especially at my levels, with food as medicine. So that's what we're dealing with here, is treating food as medicine. 60% of people in America have at least one chronic disease, and 80% of that is caused by eating the wrong food. So that's pretty bad news. That's a big number from a dietary challenge. But guess what? Half of us, about 52%, are in the stores reading the labels. The problem with that is that nobody actually understands what's on them, and almost never goes into the fine print called the ingredients. So we're looking at about less than 1% actually comprehend what goes on. So our solution is AI SaaS, and it is both. It's an API, so lots of acronyms here. Sorry, delivered either in an app like our own, or delivered in an app like Whole Foods, or Whole Foods online, or an insurance company, Blue Cross, United Health, etc. Simplistically speaking, you download the app or open the app, enter your medical conditions and your wellness goals. There's 830 medical conditions, 220 wellness goals. And if you're on the app in the store, you pick up your product, whether it's a bottle of anything, or salmon. You scan it; it will tell you immediately whether it's good or bad for you, based on your medical conditions, wellness goals. So this is the fourth panel here. It will also give you alternatives that are at least as good or better. And if you really want to get into the information, you can say why. Now, of course, this could be a no here in the fourth panel. In this case, it's a go. And the name, obviously, GoNo. Go to the fifth panel, a summary as to why it is good or bad. In this case, it's good. We're going to go down to diseases one by one and speak to the ingredients that have specific efficacy to help prevent or treat that disease. Take it one step further, and you can actually go down into the medical monograph, which again will give you details and the links to the clinical studies. So we're linking you, your conditions, the foods that you eat, the ingredients in those foods, to the medical studies, and really connecting all of the dots down to the bitter end, all backed by third-party, peer-reviewed clinical evidence. This is the beginning. So now I'm going to talk about Susie. Susie Shopper walks into Whole Foods. This, by the way, is how this looks like on the Whole Foods website, or will look like. They're not live with us yet. But Susie goes into Whole Foods, and she walks in the store and buys a product. The app tells her to buy something else. She scans one product, she scans another, she buys another. And this is where the AI starts to become really powerful. We get to see everything that Susie did in the store in terms of what she wanted to buy, and then what she actually bought, and we can determine her behavior. Not only can we determine her behavior, how willing she is to change, but then when she comes back the next time in 2 weeks, in 2 months, and buys the product again, we get to develop a whole trend around what Susie does, what she wants to do, what she does, And then we actually start to get in there and predict what she'll do based on her taste buds. So long conversation, I won't continue at the moment. We believe we're analogous to Uber. We're the Uber of food as medicine. Uber replaced the taxi. The taxi ride was a crappy experience. You sat on the phone, you waited, they didn't show up, et cetera, et cetera. But it was a habit that existed. And guess what? We're replacing a habit that is also exists. But the data that's going to come out of this and understanding what Susie is doing and how we can take her off the diabetes ledge, as an example, is what we do. More details about our patents, our efficacy engine, our AI. Again, everyone's welcome to have this deck. The big deal here is medical outcomes and behavioral changes for Susie. This is more details about our actual efficacy engine. We've got 5 patents in 5 countries. We've got 46 countries in process, and another 7 patent suites that surround some proprietary knowledge. We don't put the entire recipe for the cake out there, or we've got about 2/3 of it out there in patents, and 1/3 we keep to ourselves so that nobody else can create it. We started in the medical space with 8 medical practices and 5,000 patients, and we're able to engage practices in actually putting this practice into their practice protocol. Too many P's. And so that's been very successful, but it's it's one practice at a time. So then we entered into the grocery space, and we're in about 64 conversations with major brands like Whole Foods. Next year, early, we'll be engaging into an STTR NIH program to prove that we can rewind, unwind, eliminate people who have been diagnosed with prediabetes. Right then, right there, where the most afraid, where there's most impact, we get them using the app. We make some shifts from what they think is good to what's really good, use their taste buds and all of the science that we understand about them, and move them away from that diagnosis. And then we will enter the insurance space. We will have proven that we can really cause meaningful change. The whole process here, about 13 years of development, got us in the development company. We launched the production company last September, so that's 14 months ago. The product is in the market. You can download it right now. It's a very utilitarian model, but it proves efficacy, right? Anybody can do calorie counting, and anybody can do meal planning, and anybody can do a whole bunch of hundreds of different fitness and wellness things. We're focused on one thing, and that is the food functional? Does it have efficacy for you, or is it harming you? This is a snapshot of our board and advisors. We've actually got 52 of them. They're experts in their fields. John Buck is the chairman of Medica. Richard Brahms runs a $5.3 billion food distribution company. Chuck Klavitz was CIO of UHG and Blue. So we've got people who are there for us to fill in the blanks where we don't have the talents. We do have competitors, and just like there are stoplights out there, there are red and green lights. There's a lot of apps with red and green lights. People always say, "Oh, I've seen that before." And I point out to them that the red and green lights in an F-35 are a little different than the ones on the street. This is our technology roadmap. I won't spend a lot of time on it, other than to say that we're using a little AI now. As we get more data, we're going to use a lot more AI so that we can tell Susie what she loves to eat that's good for her. Yes, we're hitting this thing to profit. And guess what? We're in the middle of a $2 million raise. We have the Minnesota Angels tax credit, which gives you back 25% of your investment. We launched the $2 million raise. We've got about $1.6 million left. We've got about 600,000 in. And if we never made a red penny, we should all be fired. But if we never made a red penny, we would last 18 months with that $2 million. And that's all I've got to say, other than being part of Food Systems for the Future, which is a group of 20 companies so far. selected in a program that was created by the White House Conference on Hunger, Nutrition, and Health. So we're very excited to be part of major initiatives to unwind the critical issues of hunger, nutrition, and health. Any questions?
Hi, thank you. What is the minimum amount of patient data you have to input on the front end to get confident recommendations? Like I'm thinking myself, blood pressure information, weight, age, basic. What do you need from your physician?
Yeah, so the app is usable by physician or clinician, and we are starting out with just the bare basics. You have high cholesterol. That's all we need to know. You have high cholesterol, and by the way, you're allergic to onions. So the user actually enters their data. Now, down the road, I think second quarter of next year, we have the ability to import the EMR with everything you've got. But knowing exactly what your blood pressure is and versus knowing that you've got hypertension. Right now, all we need to know is that you've got hypertension. So that's that.
Okay, thank you.
All right. Thank you so much, Adam. Appreciate you for coming and presenting for us today.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Have a great weekend.